We are on. So I remade my Lego stand to be fantastical. Let me show you. Check this out. Check my master build out. I even put a lock inside in the thing there. Way more lightweight, way more sturdier. It's perfect. Excellent. Good morning, Atski. Hey, Bon88, I'm good, thank you. Ixie, good morning, good morning. So, I caught up with the things. Oh yeah, I forgot to move the lamp. There we go. The trolls are at it. 1 second. Oh man, I knew it. It's too good. Too good to be true. It's all good. We're still good. 1 second. We're still good. Huh? See? We're good. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Hey, Captain Boss, Chillstrand. Morning trolls. Yeah, so, as you can see, this is shattered. 12th. Teaming. 13. I was kind of teaming with life. Who knows? Fierce. Mysterious, which was yesterday, I think. Yeah. And then just a random one, which wasn't Inktober. Trolls, man. Trolls. Hey, good morning, Quentin and Zealin. Alright, so today I have extended the repertoire with a cheap-ass zero brand permanent marker. Kind of did some cool things. I want to play with that. I used a brush pen and this fine liner. That combo was a quite enjoyable combo. These last ones are all that combo, and I kind of enjoyed them. It has a nice kind of samey ink behavior. There's the marker is catching glare from the lamp, but it's just all good. Right, let's go. Let's do fat. No idea how to do fat, but it's gonna be done somehow. Okay, fat. I saw kind of a fat dragon, but that's not going to be a good drawing. So let's change. Change to... Alright. Okay, I have a plan. Let's make like a box. And this fat creature is going to be like stuck in there. So we'll see how that drawing is going to end up looking. I'm not sure really what the creature should look like. In my head, it kind of looked like a weird fat mouse that's kind of sitting there, stuck. So maybe I'll do that, but I kind of want to put some arms in, like it's trying to get out. So let's try to do that. Try to capture that motion of being stuck in its own dough. Hey, Delirium, good morning. I'm fine, thank you. It's a great morning. Office trolls are active. Gaxix, good morning, good morning. Bruno Romanos. Excellent nickname or name. Alright, so how to make. Okay. 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 How was everyone's weekend? My weekend was pretty good. Yesterday I was had a lazy Sunday. Just kind of lounged with the kids and the family. Went to the mother-in-law and had some tasty dinner. Just kind of took it easy, quite. It was rainy. Kid was out in the mother-in-law's yard picking apples and enjoying the fall. Mushrooms, yeah, there was massive amount of mushrooms everywhere. Crazy. It's definitely a period of time here where mushrooms are everywhere. I don't know how it is for you guys, depending on where you are and access to nature and that those kind of woods and so on with mushrooms. But there's tons of it. Tons and tons and tons of mushrooms everywhere. Gaxix, wow, congratulations. But you shouldn't have said that you're almost done. If we've learned anything from my streams, never say you're almost done or it's going good or any of those things, because as soon as you do, those damn trolls are coming. It's proven here. Time and time again. Poe, I kind of know it. I've had it, I think. But I wouldn't be able to say what it is. I know I've had it. But clearly I haven't had it enough to say. Bond. Kata Rosser, I'm a concept artist, so I'm not an illustrator most of the day. I mean, obviously I do illustrations for clients, but day-to-day stuff is a concept artist. So these drawings I do for Inktober in these warm-ups, they are clearly more illustration orientated rather than concept art. But my day-to-day stuff is very design heavy. I've had a concept art character design class at CG Master Academy for 4 years. I took it down due to it was a bit dated. But yeah, my day-to-day stuff is concept art and idea generation. Gaxix. Yeah, you have to be careful with saying everything is fantastic, because then you set the trolls in motion. Hey, good morning, Eric. Örjan, how's it going? How's it going? All right, so we established quite a lot here with the brush pen. I'm thinking of having, I want to like add a black marker on there, but I know that's a stupid thing, so I'm not. So let's do with this Zero brand permanent marker to some stronger blocks of shadows. And see what that does. I kind of like the drawing. It's somewhat what I had in mind. It's a good, it's a fun drawing. I think if I would have done the fat dragon, that my initial mental picture was, I would say that wouldn't be as interesting. I think what I like about this the most is the square it sits in. Cut the roster. Well, it depends. It depends completely. But in theory, yes. In theory, I could do 16 concepts in a day, which I have done many times. But it's a matter of, a lot of these warm-ups is very free-flowing, and for work also sometimes you got to design something specific. So the best thing at times is to slow down and maybe half the pace, but you nail the designs more, you know, using your knowledge and so on. But if need be, you can, you know, like you can pump a lot of concepts out, leaning on your knowledge, right? But the rushing work out is never as good as taking your time and planning a concept and you know, designing something thoroughly. But let's say a client comes and says, "Oh, we would love some blue sky stuff," you know, throw some concepts our way, and I just go, fine, you know, start the timer. Not really, but in theory it's the same, right? So, and then you just pump them out. And just kind of have fun and don't think about it. And then obviously the client will come back. They will, usually they say, you know, "Oh, we like number 5, we like number 10. How about you do some more of that?" And then you go back, you know. Usually what's involved then is that you try to distill what the client have, why the client picked that specific concept, and you try to break it down and continue pushing it, or if they want you to redraw it again and again in different variations. You need to not be too careful of maintaining the original, because the original is always, you know, you can always go back to the original. So it's important, like you keep exploring and see what can come out if you're gonna do it in the way that I do the warm-ups, right? But then there's other techniques to use where you do line art designs, or you paint the concepts like free form, like I did on Friday for that lizard man, you know, where that is very just form orientated and no line art whatsoever. It's different. You have to also think about what the client is after, what the product needs to be. You know, sometimes photo bashing is important to do rather than paint, straight paint or line art. You know, line art itself is such a broad term. You know, we look at manga or Western cartoons, just that little, you know, artist to artist in that those two fields do completely different things, right? Gaxix here in this channel, he does line art, but his is far from mine, right? So that's important to look at the product that the client wants, but also who you are as an artist and how far how far you should bend in style, because they do come for you for your style, right, to some degree, but you also need to follow the art direction so it doesn't look like product X. You do something for product X over multiple games, right? But that shouldn't look like that. You know, it needs to look like, oh, you as an artist have done something for their art direction, right? So you have tried to assimilate, but still maintaining you, which is always hard in the beginning when you're learning. Yeah, exactly. It would be good to switch styles, but you have to be careful to what extent you switch the style, right? I mean, a lot of us, we do have our innate design sensibilities or favorite shapes, favorite way of doing anatomy and so on, and obviously that gonna come off as your style, right? It's all these little things coming together that makes it look like your art. Let's take Alms here in the community. His work is very, you know, you can pick it out, right? We can clearly see. Same for you, Gaxix. You can clearly see it's your work, right? Even though you bend the style a bit now and then. And I think that's a good thing. It's hard to pinpoint what exactly that is, you know, what makes your style yours, but it's tricky. It's fun thing to try to kind of try to distill though for yourself. You know, what is my style? What do I how do I prefer to draw things? And maybe the more you think about those things, the easier it is to know when you have to do a new style for a new client. Hey, Rejudge198, thanks for the follow. You guys won't get notifications on the stream because I stream from the phone, but I've remembered that I can look at the alert box on desktop. So thanks, Rejoy. Kata Rosser, I have in the past, but not on the stream. Mostly because I only stream for 30 minutes, and some, you know, that doesn't say I shouldn't try it. I mean, obviously it doesn't. It's not a time sink, but definitely it's something that's more comfort, and setting up with ink and brush and stuff. It's a little bit different than just swap a pencil. It's a bit faster for my sake. Gaxix, yeah, exactly. I mean, looking at all my warm-ups, I have swapped style quite a lot. But it's also quite interesting. One thing is that it keeps my style as well, right? You can always see that's my choice of shapes, my choice of positioning and forms and so on. And getting out of comfort zone, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't use your knowledge, right? It's just like in one sketchbook, or rather for one period of time, I made myself that I wasn't allowed any round shapes to begin the drawing with. Because if you have noticed, a lot of my drawings start with like one of the first things is the top of the head I draw. Like whenever I set up a drawing, I always like start. Most of the times I start with a half circle. So I was annoyed by that. And I forced myself, like, okay, you're not allowed to do. I need to have an angle the first thing I do. And for a long period of time, I forced myself to do that. And it created some interesting new shapes, interesting new ways of thinking, which I would have never had unless I made myself uncomfortable in the beginning of the drawing. So I think there's definitely something for it, like something to be gained by challenging yourself, like forcing yourself to use your knowledge in a different way, aka not your comfort zone. Because a lot of times it also shows where your knowledge is lacking. And if you rely on, I mean, we all draw in icons and symbols, right? So sometimes you rely on a specific symbol in your style or your comfort zone that helps explain something in a specific way that is not the way it actually is. And then forcing a different style on you, you all suddenly can't use the same tricks. And sometimes it reveals lack of knowledge over something that in how it actually works. Like lighting. If you don't render realism and really don't think about lighting, and you do a lot of simulated light in the way, let's say, we do ink drawings, and then all of a sudden you actually have to render, and a lot of people have issues with that, switching something that drastically because of the amount of knowledge they have or grasp, really. It's not a matter of knowledge you have, but the knowledge you understand. I mean, a lot of knowledge you can, a lot of things you can figure out if you understand the principle. It's like if I have to do 3D, I mean, I know 3D, I understand the principle of a 3D object, right? I understand the relationship between the forms I'm drawing. And then doing 3D is just a matter of, okay, I have to structure it in a specific way. One good example of a person who transitioned well is Milan Nikolic. He picked up ZBrush really, really fast. And same for this guy called Anthony Jones. He also picked up 3D easily because they already had the thinking of 3D in their mind, right? Because they didn't actually know the 3D program themselves, but the theory or the understanding of 3D space and relationship and so on was already strong, which made the technical aspect of learning the 3D program less of a hurdle because all you need to learn is which button to press at what time, rather than how does this 3D work. You know, same was for me in learning 3D. It's quite easy. It's because I've already have that thinking, you know. Yeah, Gax, exactly. I think that's what's there's so interesting with it. It's like you go into some other direction and you pick up all these things, and like I mentioned, it's not about adding specific knowledge. It's having a stronger understanding of everything, right? The big picture of things, and grasping not the specific way of doing things, but the knowledge that lies behind why you do it. ICSI, yeah, that's it's tricky, and it's a specific way of thinking, because when you're drawing something in a simulated 3D space, like this is a 2D drawing, right? But in my head, I know how this should be modeled or sculptured, because I'm thinking in that way, right? I'm thinking what's behind, how is the spine arcing, and so on. And you don't need to do that when you're drawing. You know, some styles just doesn't need it, and that's fine. But for me, I enjoy the fact that I can break it down and learn it in that way. And it's like when I tell my son, like, if you're gonna have to do something, make sure you do it well. Just don't half-ass anything. So if you're gonna do this, do it to the, take your time, do the best you can do. And it's the same thing with art for me. Like, I look at art and I go, all right, there's so many facets to art, and technique and so on. And I just want to understand it all and figure it out. And of course, that means that I'm branching out a lot. But I don't care about. I care about the underlying knowledge, not the specific branch. Because you can always use it. Like I said, like Milan, he transitioned to ZBrush super easy because the knowledge is already there. So for me, what I love about doing art and experimenting with technique and so on is that I can reuse the knowledge in different areas and see where the result ends up, or what the result ends up looking like. And practicing the knowledge, because you have to implement it in a different way, which is fun. Yeah, Mudbox. I played with that 10 years ago. Such a fun program. I don't know how it is today, but back then it was really, really intuitive. It only had like a couple of buttons and a digital clay lump, and it was so much fun to just kind of mess around in it. Julio. Oh man, that is so funny. He's the bad boy. Oriano, that's really interesting. It's a pretty cool thing to do, though. Two different types of tools in 3D like that to get some interesting results. So we got around 3 minutes left, I think. This drawing feels like it's finished. So is this pen. This pen feels finished as well. Oh, thank you, Julio. It's a fun little exploration. Fat. He's stuck in his own fats. Yeah. And I must say, for you guys who didn't join in the very beginning, my new Lego phone stand is excellent. I went back to the drawing board, redid a lot of things, and now it's even better. It's Lego phone stand 2.0. I must say I'm slightly proud. I will show it off at the end of the stream. Julio, you're never too late. Just join in, start doing Inktober. Like, you can easily spend half an hour a day, like I do, drawing something, and then walk away. There's nothing more to it than just draw something in ink and be done. That's great, Julio. Yeah. One more face to the crowd. That's great. All right. I think I'm done. I'm gonna call it. It's somewhat 30 minutes. Ink. I can't spell. Inktober. Wow. Screw spelling, right? Stay in school, kids. 16. Fat. He is kind of fat. It's a fun drawing. I'm happy with it. Even though it's not exactly like I wanted, but it is what it is. Alright. Thanks everyone for joining in. Here was today's Inktober. Ta-da! Have a fantastic day. Good night. See you guys on Discord. And see you tomorrow at the same time. Oh, I have to showcase my Lego stand. Check it. Check it. Oh, yeah. 2.0 Lego stand. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this beauty. Such a beauty. All right. Bye, everyone.